Hello everyone, in the previous lecture I have discussed about the half wave rectifier, in which I told you that the efficiency and the efficiency of the full wave, half wave rectifier is less and the ripple factor was high. So, we have for improving the efficiency and reducing the ripples at the output of rectifier, full wave rectifier is used. So, there are two type of full wave rectifier. First is center tap full wave rectifier, and second is bridge rectifier. So, first of all, I will discuss center tap full wave rectifier. Okay, for improving the efficiency and reducing the ripple factor of the half wave rectifier, we have used the full wave rectifier. In the center tap, what is the difference between center tap and bridge rectifier? The difference is that in this center tap full wave rectifier, we are using a different type of transformer in which the load resistance is connected between the midpoint of the secondary winding, from the midpoint of the secondary winding. So, the circuit of center tap full wave rectifier, in the center tap full wave rectifier, in half wave rectifier one diode and one transformer is used. In case of center tap full wave rectifier, two diode and one transformer is used. In case of bridge rectifier, four diodes and one transformer is used. So, what is the circuit of center tap full wave rectifier? In case of center tap full wave rectifier, we have used a center tap transformer in which load resistance is connected from the midpoint of the secondary winding. So, the input applied is AC input signal. So, in the same way of half wave rectifier, we will analyze the circuit when we will analyze the input for getting the output of center tap rectifier. So, when we apply the positive half cycle, what will happen? The positive polarity will come here, negative polarity will come here. Similarly, the positive polarity will come here and negative polarity will come here. So, what will happen, or you can say, when I am applying the positive half cycle at the input, what is happening? The greater positive charge will appear here and negative charge will appear here. So, what will happen? The effect of positive charge will reduce as we are going from top to bottom. So, what can I say? The greater positive will work as a positive and here lesser positive will work as negative. Same will happen here. What will happen? The negative will work negative, or you can say the lesser positive will work as a positive terminal and negative will work as a negative terminal. So, you can check here that for positive half cycle, the positive terminal or P side of the PN junction diode is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, and N side of the PN junction diode is connected to the negative terminal of the battery, which makes this diode D1 forward bias, and for diode D2 this P type P side of the PN junction diode is connected to the negative terminal of the battery and N side is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, which makes this diode reverse bias and it will behave as an open circuit. So, I can make like this, I can replace this by open circuit and I can replace this diode by short circuit. So the current will flow from this positive terminal through diode D1 through load resistance R, and this circuit will behave as an open circuit. So what will appear at the output of the across the load resistance R or at the output, we will get the same half cycle that I have applied at the input. So for positive half cycle we will get the same half cycle that I have applied at the input. So similarly for negative half cycle, when negative half cycle, for negative half cycle what will happen? For negative half cycle, negative charge will appear here, positive charge will appear here, same will happen here, negative charge will appear here and positive charge will appear here. Now same you can check here that this, for this negative half cycle the diode D1 will be open circuit or reverse bias, and for this negative half cycle this diode D2 will be forward bias. For in this half cycle this diode D2 will conduct, or you can say this diode D2 will be forward bias or short circuit, and diode D1 will be reverse bias or open circuit. So the current will flow through from this positive terminal through diode D2, load resistance R and terminate at this. For better understanding you can consider here node A, B and C. You can say current will flow from C to B, and for positive half cycle current will flow through diode D1 from A to B. So what will be the output? By applying the KVL you can get, when you will apply the KVL you will get Vi minus V naught is equal to 0. Because I have applied here the negative half cycle, so V naught is equal to Vi. Vi minus V naught is equal to 0. So what I have applied here? I have applied this here the negative half cycle. So what will you get? You will get here the opposite of this half cycle, because here the I have considered the negative and positive polarity. So for, if I am applying here I am considering here the magnitude with sign. If I am considering here this, for understanding this sign is only for understanding the biasing of diode D1 and D2. So what will happen if you consider this for complete input, we will consider here positive negative, but this sign is for understanding of biasing of PN junction diode. So here this you will apply here minus Vi. So what will happen? V naught is equal to minus Vi. So in this case what will happen? For positive half cycle we are getting, for applying the positive half cycle we are getting the same input half cycle. For applying the negative half cycle I am getting the V naught is equal to minus V. If you are considering the sign, then in that case this output across load resistance will change, or sign of the output across load resistance will change. So I am not changing the sign of the load resistance, like a voltage across the load resistance. I am only considering this positive and negative for complete cycle, for positive and negative. So what will be the output waveform? This has been shown in this figure. For positive half cycle I am getting this positive half cycle, for negative half cycle I am getting this positive, because you are getting here V naught is equal to minus Vi, here you are getting V naught is equal to Vi. Okay. Now I am going to write the equation for output of center type full wave rectifier. So I am considering here the input is Vi is equal to Vm sin omega t. So you can see from here, or you can see from here, from the output expression, that the input is this, the input waveform is from 0 to t. For 0 to t by 2 the output is same, for t by 2 to t the output is inverted. So I am writing the expression V naught is equal to Vi or Vm sin omega t for period for interval 0 to t by 2, and V naught is equal to minus Vm sin omega t for t by 2 to t. This is the mathematical expression for output of center tap full wave rectifier. Now, so I have written here Vi is equal to Vm sin omega t, V naught is equal to minus Vm sin omega, minus Vm sin omega t for period 0 to t by 2 and t by 2 to t. The input waveform is this, omega t or t. V naught Vm 0 t by 2 t. Okay. So, what will be the DC value, average value? I will find all those parameters that I have find in case of half wave rectifier, such as DC value, RMS value, DC voltage value, DC current value, VDC, IDC, IRMS, ripple factor, ripple frequency, efficiency, and peak inverse voltage. I will find all these parameters, but before finding all these parameters, I would like to discuss the full wave bridge rectifier, because all these parameters for full wave bridge rectifier will be same except this peak inverse voltage. So, after discussing this full wave bridge rectifier, I will find all these parameters and I will find the peak inverse voltage for both the circuits. Okay. So, come to the full wave bridge rectifier. So, I told you that in case of full wave bridge rectifier, 4 diodes are used, diode D1, D2, D3 and D4. So, the analysis of the circuit will be this procedure for analyzing the circuit will be same. For positive half cycle, the positive sign will come here and negative sign will come here. It has been shown in this figure. For positive half cycle, positive sign will come here, negative sign will come here, and now the question comes that which diode will conduct. So, for positive half cycle, you can see that the P type of this diode, this is diode D2, this is diode D1, this is diode D3 and this is diode D4. So, the diode D1 will be reverse bias because positive terminal is connected to the N side of the diode D1 and negative terminal is connected to the P side of the diode D4. So, diode D1 and D4 will be reverse bias and it will be open circuited or it will be off, and diode D2 and D3 will conduct. So, what will happen? It will behave as an open circuit. Diode D1 will be open circuit, diode D4 will be open circuit, diode D2 and D3 will conduct and current will flow from positive terminal through diode D2, resistance R, diode D3 and negative terminal this. The direction of current will be like this, and at the output or across the load resistance R, we will get the same output that I have applied at the input. In this circuit you can see that diode D2 and D3 is conducting, diode D2 and D3 is conducting, so it is behaving as a short circuit, and you are getting the same input half cycle that you have applied at the input. You are getting the same half cycle at the output that you have applied at the input. For next half cycle, that is negative half cycle, again this negative positive will come here. So the same will happen if you apply the KVL, and the direction of current will be like this. So when we will apply the KVL, you will get V naught is equal to minus of Vi. So this input will invert and you will get this half cycle. So you can say that the output of the output waveform or output of full wave bridge rectifier and center tap rectifier is same. So the mathematical expression for full wave bridge rectifier will be same as the center tap rectifier. This is the input waveform, this is the output waveform, and the mathematical expression will be same for 0 to T by 2. Now one more thing, you can see that if I increase this waveform for next time period, suppose the waveform is like this, then what will happen? You can see from this output waveform that this waveform is repeating itself after a T by 2 time period. So the period of the output waveform is T by 2. This will be useful for finding the DC value and RMS value. Now come to the derivations, that is DC voltage value. DC voltage or DC voltage value or average voltage value or average voltage or DC voltage, all these things are same. So the output expression for V naught is equal to Vm sin omega t minus Vm sin omega t 0 to T by 2, T by 2 to T. For finding the DC value, I will draw the output waveform also. Zero, T by 2, T, 3 T by 2 and so on. This is the maximum value Vm. Okay. For finding the DC value or average value, I am writing here VDC or V average is equal to area under the curve upon base. So what will be the area under the curve and what will be the base? So I have to consider as a waveform or part of the waveform, or you can say for a part of the waveform after which the waveform is repeating its value. So you can say, as I have told you, that the waveform for the period of this waveform is T by 2. After T by 2 it is repeating the same output for the next time period. So you can say the period of the output waveform is T by 2. So I will analyze the circuit for T by 2 and will consider that it is repeating the same value. So what will be the 1 by T 0 to T V naught d omega t. But here I have to consider, this is the general formula, over a time period I have to integrate this output waveform, after that I have to divide the time period. But here the time period is, I am putting the value t is, here you can say from the input waveform, here the period of the sine wave is 2 pi, so the value of t by 2 will be pi. So I am writing here t by 2 is nothing but pi. So I will write here 1 by pi, this is nothing but, I have to write here that the period of the waveform, I am not writing that this t is nothing but the period of the output waveform. So the period is pi, so I am writing here t is equal to pi, 0 to pi Vm sin omega t d omega t. Vm I have to integrate sin omega t with respect to d omega t. So integration of sin omega t is minus cos omega t 0 to pi. Vm by pi, cos pi is minus 1, cos 0 is 1, so this will become 2 Vm upon pi. So the DC value or average value of two Vm upon pi. Now on the same way, similarly we can find the value of RMS value of voltage or current. Similarly you can find here the IDC or I average. For finding the IDC or I average, what will be the value? I have to divide by the load resistance R. By dividing the load resistance, Vm by R is nothing but Im. So I am writing directly here twice of Im upon pi. Now come to the RMS value. For finding the RMS value, I am finding the RMS value of voltage. So in the previous lecture I told you that for finding the RMS value, first I have to square the output waveform, output voltage. After that I have to take the mean. After that I have to take the root. So first of all I will square, that is V naught square. After that I have to take mean. For taking the mean I have to integrate this V naught square for a one time period. So I am writing directly here 0 to pi. As I told you in the previous slide that the period of this output waveform is pi. So I am writing here 0 to pi 1 by pi d omega t. After that I have to you have to take root. So I will take root. Now you can write here 1 by pi 0 to pi Vm square sin square omega t d omega t power half. So it will become Vm square upon pi. I have to integrate this sin square omega t. For integrating this I can write this like 1 minus cos 2 omega t by 2 d omega t. I can rewrite this Vm square by pi. When I will integrate this cos 2 omega t from 0 to pi, it will become sin 2 omega t by 2. So what will happen, sin 2 omega t sin pi will be 0 and sin 0 will be 0. So, what will I get here? I will get only, I am taking 2 common, if I will integrate 1 with respect to d omega t, I will get omega t limit from 0 to pi. Now, what will I get? Pi will be cancelled out by pi. So, I will get here Vm by under root 2. This is the RMS voltage. Similarly, I can find the RMS current. IRMS is equal to Im by under root 2. Simply I have to divide the load resistance R by the by Vm. I will get IRMS is equal to Im by under root 2. So, next parameter is, this is the procedure. How will you find the RMS value of any half wave or full wave rectifier? The RMS value that I have find here and DC value that I have find here, these two values are same for both full wave rectifier and center type rectifier. So, next parameter is, this is first parameter, this is second parameter. The third parameter is a ripple frequency or output frequency. Ripple frequency is denoted by f naught. So, in the waveform you can see that the period of this waveform is t, and here the period of this waveform, output period of input waveform is t and period of output waveform is t by 2. So, the frequency is inversely related to the time period. If I want to find f naught and fi is known to me, then I will write this like this, f naught by fi is equal to ti by t naught. Ti is known to me, ti is nothing but t, t naught is nothing but t by 2. So, what will I get? I will get f naught is equal to twice of fi. So, output frequency or ripple frequency is nothing but double of input frequency. Now, come to the fourth parameter. Ripple factor is denoted by gamma, and it is given by mathematical expression under root form factor square minus 1. Ff is nothing but form factor, and form factor Ff is nothing but form factor, and form factor is given by mathematical expression RMS value upon DC value. RMS value I have already defined Vm by under root 2, DC value is twice of Vm upon pi. So, here I will get pi by 2 under root 2. So, by putting this value, form factor square minus 1 pi by 2 under root 2 square minus 1, I will get here 0.405. So, if I find the percentage ripple factor, percentage gamma is equal to 40.5%. As I told you in the half wave rectifier circuit that the ripple factor gives the information about the number of ripples present at the output of rectifier. Then in half wave rectifier we have seen that the ripple factor was 121%, that is 1.21, and in this case we have seen that the ripple factor is 40.5%. So you can say that the number of ripples are reducing in the full wave rectifier or center tap full wave rectifier, bridge and center tap rectifier. So the one of the disadvantage that have half wave rectifier has been improved, or you can say the number of ripples has been reduced. So this is the advantage of full wave rectifier. Another disadvantage was another disadvantage of half wave rectifier was that it has lower efficiency. So for improving the efficiency we have used the full wave rectifier. So we will find the next parameter, that is efficiency of the full wave rectifier. Efficiency of the full wave rectifier. So efficiency is nothing but the DC power output at the load, or you can say PDC upon PAC. PDC is nothing but IDC square. I have to find the output across the load resistance. Here in the circuit the load resistance was R. I have to find this output across this load resistance R. So I will use here IDC square R upon, I have to find the AC input power. AC input power is for finding the AC input power I have to use the formula IRMS square into, in this case you have to consider the forward resistance of these diodes. If the diode D2 and D3 is conducting for positive half cycle, in that case you have to find, in that case you have to consider the forward resistance of these diodes. So if I am considering the forward resistance of the diode is RF, in that case you can see that these two diodes are connected in series with this resistance. So what will be the PAC? PAC will be IRMS square R plus twice of RF. I can say that the resistance RF is less than resistance R. So I can ignore this resistance RF as compared to this R. So I can write this equation like IDC square R upon IRMS square R. IDC square is IDC that I have find it twice of Im upon pi. So I am writing here 4 Im square upon pi square upon Im square by 2. So I can write like this 8 by pi square. So after solving this I will get here 0.812. So percentage efficiency of this full wave rectifier is 81.2%. So you can see that in case of half wave rectifier the efficiency was 40.6%. In this case I am getting here 81.2%. So by using the full wave bridge rectifier and center tap rectifier, these all parameters are same for center tap full wave rectifier and bridge rectifier. So you can see that the efficiency has been improved and the ripple factor has been reduced. Now come to the next parameter, that is peak inverse voltage. As I have told the definition of peak inverse voltage is nothing but the voltage across the diode when diode is in non-conducting state. So if I consider this circuit, diode D2, or you can say this diode D1 and D4 is not conducting. So I can find the voltage across this resistance, voltage across this diode. I have to find, definition says that voltage across the diode when diode is in non-conducting state. By applying the KVL across this loop, we can find the peak inverse voltage of the circuit. So, what will be the peak inverse voltage? Peak inverse voltage will be the same that I have applied at the input. So, PIV will be equal to VM, sorry, PIV will be equal to VI. VI is nothing but Vm sin omega t. So, definition says that the maximum voltage across the diode. So, what will be the value of PIV? PIV will be equal to Vm. So, the peak inverse voltage for bridge rectifier is Vm. Similarly, we can find the peak inverse voltage for center tap rectifier. When we will find the peak inverse voltage for center tap rectifier, you can see that the circuit of center tap rectifier was like this. The diode was connected here and the so definition says that the maximum voltage across the diode when diode is in non-conducting state. When the diode is in non-conducting state, suppose this diode D1 is conducting and D2 is not conducting. So, I am removing this diode. When diode is in non-conducting state, I have to find the voltage across this diode. So, what I am applying here? I am applying the positive half cycle, that is Vi. Here I am applying this positive half cycle. At the output, what I was getting? I was getting this Vi. So, when I will apply the KVL across this diode for getting the PIV for center tap rectifier, I will get PIV is equal to twice of Vi. The definition says that the maximum voltage across the diode. So, maximum voltage, what will be the maximum voltage? Maximum voltage will be twice of Vm. So, this is the peak inverse voltage for center tap rectifier. So, this is the disadvantage of center tap bridge rectifier because it is having the peak inverse voltage of twice of Vm. So, if I want to use the center tap rectifier, then I have to design a special type of diode which is having the peak inverse voltage of twice of Vm. So, for using this center tap rectifier, I have to use a special type of diode which is having the peak inverse voltage of twice of Vm. But in case of bridge rectifier, I can use the normal diode which is having the peak inverse voltage of Vm. So, this is all about the full wave rectifier, center tap bridge rectifier and center tap rectifier and full wave bridge rectifier. I have discussed all the parameters. In the next lecture, I will discuss the numericals related to the bridge rectifier. Thank you.